What is the longest possible jump in Parkour Reborn? Now what I'll be including in this is the gears or launch rail, swing grappler, and yank grappler. So I won't be measuring only the base jump, I'll be measuring how far the launch rail launches you, and yank and swing grappler. Now how are we gonna measure how long the jump is? Well, the rules are as soon as you lift off the ground, when you touch the ground again, that will count as the jump being done. Or just overall distance traveled in the air without touching the ground. So for example, doing something like this with launch rail, that's not a jump, that's 2 jumps. Now let's measure the base jump. First, let me get max momentum. Now at basically max momentum, you can do a pretty long jump like this. For example, you can make this. And the flail jump being not too far behind, but it is way less powerful than the long jump. Now the normal jump overall varies on how low the next obstacle is. For example, this would be a pretty long jump, but if the obstacle was like this, more on my height, it wouldn't be that long. So the distance of the base jump, it mainly relies on when you will die after falling for how long, and how fast you're actually going. Now there is also after boost in the middle of chaining. The longer you chain, the faster the next chain will be. For example, like this. So let me get a few chains off. And now 1p. And as you can see, I went pretty far from all the way over there to somewhere over here. And now that's as far as the normal jump goes. Now let's talk about yank grappler. With the normal yank grappler, you can extend a jump's distance by a pretty good amount by using some text like this. Or this. Well, I fucked it up, but let's see how far I can go with only 2 grapples. So about that far, but still nonetheless pretty further than the normal jump. Now using text with the grappler, can go pretty far. For example, I landed right there, but if you use groundclear, you can manage to go even further. And I would say if you're good at Reborn, if you know how to do gaps, one of Parkour Reborn's jumps with the tech could bring you pretty far. For example, skipping maybe 1 or 2 buildings because, you know, you're good at the game, right? For example, with one tech, you could pass this whole building with just a singular jump. And I've seen some... And I've seen some pretty crazy gaps with... And I've seen some pretty crazy... Bro! No, bro! And I've seen some pretty crazy gaps with yank grappler too. But what about launch rail? Now I think mag rail is actually good, but it's not, because I'm counting a jump by only jumping, no wall runs, no wall climbs, and no wall kicks. Which means you can't use mag rail's mag launch. And that means you can only use the mag rail mag bounce. And for jumping distance wise, you can think of mag rail as basically gearless, as it gives you only 1 boost like this because you can't use the mag launch. And some gearless tech and a mag bounce, you can go just a bit further. But I should also mention grapple points. Now why haven't I mentioned grapple points with yank grappler 2? It's because I'm saving them for swing grappler 2. And yes, of course you can use grapple points to make your jump distance longer. You can't use anything else beside a grapple point and a singular bounce. Now without going into any more depth on mag rail, let's talk about swing grappler 2. Now this is where things get really interesting, as for swing grappler, its main function isn't pulling you, even though it can. It's called swing grappler for a reason, because you can swing on grapple points from further away than yank grappler 2, but as of right now, it is the most useless gear. Now if you take things like the vertigo top and this zipline, your jump starts on top of vertigo, but will end a lot further away. For example, that could have been just 1 jump if you didn't count the wall runs. And you can get pretty long jump distances with just this 1 zipline. Well, that is if you actually manage to land them. And keep in mind, that was just 1 jump. But don't forget, swing grappler has a 3rd variant. And its 3rd variant isn't currently available. But what it does is you can swing on the side of buildings forever instead of it just pulling you. And only the devs and admins have this one, I believe. But the actual furthest jump is done by Divided. If we take a look at his video, the swing grappler gear is insane. If you go to the time of 3 minutes and 50 seconds, you can see that he swings pretty far to all the way over there from the literal base plate. Now, does this count as a jump? Well, if he grapples off the base plate, he has to jump off of it and then grapple. Now, we actually know this because on the timeline, 2 minutes 34 seconds, you can see that he has his chain activated. That means he did jump off of the base plate, and he probably did jump for all of the other jumps too.
God. It's getting close. Oh no.
So, that's concluded then. The longest jump with a gear is held by divided jumping off of the base plate over the whole map. And I'm not sure if it's gonna get beaten. I mean, if anybody finds a way from the top of there to go across the whole map, but corner-wise like this, that might be further than all the way over there, but I'm not sure if that's gonna get beaten. Anyways, thanks for watching, and I will see you in the next one.